Yo people, what's good? It's Tapping Tobes here. New camera, new lighting, new editing. Welcome Skullfuggery. I beat him up in New York, but you lot, be kind to him when he's on this channel. On the Big Six, you give him grief. On this channel, be kind to him. Perisic is close to terminating his contract so he can go and play in his native country, Croatia, for Hajduk Split. I've got a lot of love for Ivan Perisic as a player. I feel like he's been a very good player for pretty much his entire career. And I really had high expectations for the transfer simply because I watched a lot of him at Inter Milan and he was just a beast on that left-hand side. And he kept himself in good shape and he's always been a relatively good athlete. In fact, a really good athlete for the bulk of his career. But I'll be real, man. Defensively, he was a two-pack of ass. He just isn't a defender. It could run in the Serie A when you're playing against low-intensity wingers. The physicality is not as strong. Perisic was found out a little bit in the Premier League, unfortunately for him. I know he got the assists, and I know he scored 1 or 2 goals, but I'm looking beyond the stats. He was poor for Tottenham last season, but that doesn't mean that this guy's a poor player generally. I still think he showed his technical quality in moments, pinpoint delivery, his set pieces, but outside of that, man, the defending, going up and down the pitch, even his crossing was a bit wayward as well. Like, yeah, man, it just wasn't a good time. So I think it's best the likes of Perisic, the likes of Lloris, the likes of Dyer terminate their contracts. They got a year left on their deals, and their assets that are not appreciating, they're depreciating. Get rid of them. I wish Perisic all the best. No hard feelings on the previous season, but my friends warned me about this. I didn't listen to them, so unfortunately the joke was on me and the joke was on Tottenham. But honestly, I wish Ivan all the best, man. Let him go back to Croatia. Let him smash it up at Hajduk Split as well. So let him do his thing, man. But Premier League ball, it's not a joke, man. Spurs are quick to terminate Perisic's contract, which is the right decision. I hope they will do the same for Lloris. But why am I hearing that Dyer's going to stay for another year? Terminate his contract as well. The noise around Højbjerg leaving is ramping up. We're hearing that Atletico Madrid are still seriously interested in, and I believe there is another German club that's interested. The money that we receive from Højbjerg, I want that to be put towards bringing in another defender. 2 centre-backs, a goalkeeper and a creative midfielder. Those are the paramount objectives for this window. If those things aren't achieved this window, especially the 2 centre-backs, I can't rate this window high. Use the Højbjerg money to add to your pursuit of someone like a Tapsoba along with a Van der Ven, right? Then you're cooking. And then if there's any money left over, then you go for your number 6. I'd be calm if there is no number 6 this season. I'll be calm with that. It's not ideal because we need Benton Core back. He's much more dependable than an Ndombele, than a Papi Matar, but I can live with that if we have the 2 centre-backs locked in. News broke yesterday of a bid that was submitted by Napoli for Ndombele in the region of around 20 million euros. This was reported by L'Equipe, and this was rejected by Tottenham because Ange Postecoglou wants to keep Ndombele and give him another lifeline. Now, when we speak on Ndombele, it normally divides opinion in the fan base. There's 2 sides to it. I'm a big fan of what Ndombele can offer when he's at his best, and this was a guy who was basically like my prized asset when Spurs signed him. Before we signed him, I couldn't stop speaking about the guy. I said, this guy needs to be playing for Tottenham. We need him. We need him. When we signed him, his best games before Jose came was in his first couple of months under Pochettino. I felt like he had some really good performances there, dotted around some poor ones and not being able to last and stuff. But I felt like once Poch got sacked and Jose came in, it was poor. Really, really poor from Ndombele. Didn't see him for a couple of months. Then the following season under Jose gives him a lifeline. He then becomes one of Jose's best players. Then he fades in the second half of the season. Just really, really sporadic and poor performances, man. Flashes. You rarely see games with Ndom where he's prominent throughout the 90 minutes. And that's the problem with Ndombele. A player of his caliber, you just can't be idle. A player of his caliber, you got to put in some work as well. I'm not expecting him to be doing bleak tests, etc., because for me, Ndombele makes the difference when he's on the ball, but he needs to give us more when he's off the ball. 2 loan spells. One was a bust at Lyon, let's be real, and the other was a relative success. He played a fair amount of games and did well. For me, it's quite clear that this is a talented player. This is a player that I've always liked, as I've said earlier on in this video. The talent is there. His dribbling, exceptional. His ability to protect the ball under pressure, exceptional. His passing is good as well. The problem with Ndombele is the endurance. Can you last? And I'm not just talking over a 90-minute game because he completed 90-minute matches for Tottenham before. I'm saying over the season. Can you be dependable over the course of a season? Not just in your fitness, but in your application on the football pitch, in your form. Can't be just so sporadic. The Jose season was the best example of that. Ndombele was one of our best players first half of the campaign, and second half of the campaign, he, like many other players, they tailed off. Spurs rejecting this bid is a sign of faith that the club have in him, and specifically that the manager has in him. And I actually think that the fact that the manager is willing to make it work with a player like Ndombele is a testament to the type of football he wants to play at this club, because despite all the criticism, which is fair, the fact that Ange wants to keep this guy and give him another chance shows the type of football that he really wants to play, that he's really committed to play, because ultimately you want the better ball players in this team. Give him one more chance. Give him one more chance. So he's got it now. This is his final chance. Now there's going to be no excuses. You've got a manager who plays an expansive style, who's basically said that he wants to give you another chance. He wants to work with you. So much so that the club have rejected a bid for Ndombele. This is the second time the club have rejected a bid for Ndombele in his Spurs career. There is faith here. You've got to make it count, buddy. When you speak on Højbjerg, who looks like he's going to be off potentially this summer, that space opens up for another midfielder. Bentancur's not going to be back by the start of the season. A lot of people have him in their combined 11s, etc, etc. He's not going to be back. Basuma's definitely going to start. Maddison's definitely going to start. There is one more spot. Me personally, I would give it to either Ndom or Pape Matar Sarr if a number 6 can't be brought in this summer. Once the money for the centre backs is finished and you signed 2 that are good enough, if there is more money available to sign another number 6, do it. If there isn't, I'm calm with that. I will live with that for one season, and it gives the likes of Ndombele and Pape Matar Sarr the chance to shine. Oliver Skip is there obviously, but to be honest, I don't really want him playing that much football next season. I feel like the better players ahead of him should be playing the minutes. It's time. It's time to make it work, Ndom. I'm rooting for you. I want this guy to be a success at Spurs. I really do. Word to Culture Cams, please rise. Pause. My last word on this, on the Pochettino stuff. What do people expect? Obviously, people are going mad because Poch said, oh, the last 10, 12, 15 years, Chelsea are the greatest team in England. Why do you care? I love Pochettino, but he's managing Chelsea now. He's managing Chelsea. They're his employer. What's he meant to do in his first interview? He's trying to win fans over. Fans of a club that he used to be rivals with. A lot of fans who don't like Pochettino, who didn't want Pochettino in the job. Why are Spurs fans so irked by what he's saying? Oh, he's dead to me, he's this, he's that. It's not that deep. What's he meant to say? Obviously, some people are saying you don't need to put too much dip on the chip. He's going over the top and stuff. Who cares? I love Poch, but I want him to fail horribly at Chelsea. Whatever he says about Chelsea, that's his business. He didn't mention Spurs in his interview. He didn't criticize Tottenham. He's talking about Chelsea. So what's the issue? Much ado over nothing. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Do you agree with me on Højbjerg? What do you think on Ndombele? Would you want Spurs to prioritize number 6 this summer if Højbjerg is sold? Let me know in the comments. Feedback is key. Let me know if this is worth it. Like the video if you can, please. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. What are you playing at? Keep your post notifications turned on because you're going to get much more cool videos like this in the weeks and months and hopefully years to come.